Here's my Pickems for the kickoffs of EMEA and the Americas. We're going to start off with the Americas. And something I want to quickly talk about is that we don't have much information on these teams. A lot of these teams haven't even played with their full rosters. So we can't really look at them and give like definitive answers on how they'll play, what style they'll play, how they'll match up with other teams, all that type of stuff, right? So it's going to be difficult to do this very accurately. So I'm going to take things from like the face value of the teams that are being formed and the face value of the players that are in those teams. So EG versus Loud. I think EG are going to win this one simply because I think that Loud are going to have a bit more of a slow burn throughout the year. They have really good individual players. Vinny is a bit more of a question mark to me personally, simply because I don't know much about him. There probably are other people that know more and will probably speak well of him, probably. But yeah, for me, I don't know how well Loud is actually going to do. I think they are going to be better later on in the year. I think EG have kept more of their roster from last year. They have 3 core players. And then they've added on top of that with IC and Ye, who are both good individual players in their own right. So I do think that EG are going to be pretty good at the gate. I'm not sure if they're going to be like super good throughout the year, though. We'll just have to see. MLBR versus 100 Thieves. I think it's kind of the same reasoning for this one, is that 100 Thieves have kind of kept more of their players. MLBR have 2 rookies as well. They have 2, as far as I know. I don't think Zenom and Cortesia have played in Tier 1. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they haven't. And those 2 players they could be players that come out swinging and are really, really good as rookies, or they could be trying to find their feet throughout the year. And simply because they're just unknown quantities to me. I don't really know how well MLB are going to perform in this tournament. I also don't know in the long term if they are going to be good or not. I mean, it is kind of dependent on those rookies, I think. But I think that Aspas will definitely bring up the average level of his team. So we'll just have to see how it goes with MLBR. But I think 100 Thieves will be better in the kickoff tournament. Next is NRG versus Cloud9. And I've already clicked NRG because I think that Cloud9 are a bit of a difficult state right now with the way that they are the way that they cycle their players in the off season. I don't think it makes for a very good start of season. But I do think that NRG also are a very, very good team. I think that FNS is one of those players that always perform pretty well with the team that he's on. So I do have a lot of confidence in NRG being good. I'm not sure exactly if they're going to be good right away, but I'm taking the chance that they might be. And also as well, because of the stuff I've already said about Cloud9 as well, with their rosters, with their roster changes being quite late. 2-game esports versus Furia. I think Furia is actually really good. I think in December they actually beat MLBR. So I think that they are actually a pretty good team. And I think for the most part they kept most of their roster intact, but I could be wrong. I don't quite remember the Furia roster. But I think they did. And I think they're actually pretty good for now. They might be a team that burn hot at the start and then simmer down later. That's probably what I expect them to be, especially with the competition in the rest of the region. I do think that those other players are going to find their footing and they might end up beating Furia later on, but we'll just have to see. Crew versus Evil Geniuses. I think EG will actually once again win this one, although I wouldn't be surprised if QL also wins. Like, it's one of those ones where I think this is like a 50-50 toss-up to me, but I think I have a bit more confidence in EG, and I think it's also more interesting if EG wins in this game. Sentinels versus 100 Thieves. Quite close, but I do think Sentinels are going to win this one. I think Sentinels are a really, really strong roster. Might be one of the strongest rosters in Americas currently. G2 versus NRG. Toss up for me, but I think G2 are going to be the strongest team in kickoffs at the moment, so I do think that G2 are going to win this one. Leviathan versus Furia. I think I have a bit more confidence in Furia right now, simply because I saw them play in December. But Leviathan, I think, are pretty good on paper, so they might surprise us, or surprise me, I guess, coming into this tournament. So Leviathan versus Loud is going to be a difficult one to predict, I think, because I think that Leviathan probably have a bit more going for them early on than Loud do. But I think the individual players of Loud are pretty close, right? I think overall, I think it's pretty close, like the skill level of the 2 teams. I'm just going to go with Leviathan because I think it's a bit more interesting if Leviathan wins. But I'm prepared to be wrong, basically. NRG versus MLBR. I think NRG are going to win this one. I think MLBR are going to be quite a weak team early on, and they're going to get better, as I've already said. 100 Thieves versus Cloud9. I think 100 Thieves are going to win this one simply because I think that their four core roster, with the addition of Xander, is going to be pretty good. I don't think they're going to be pretty good early on, and they're going to remain that way for about half the year, and then they'll fall off later on, is probably what I predict. Crew versus 2Game Esports. Because I don't know too much about 2Game Esports, I'm going to predict Crew to win this. That's the simple reason. Once I know more, I've seen them play, and if they like start surprising me and they get really good, then obviously I'll be on the 2Game Esports train. But for now, I think I'm just going to predict Crew there. Then we've got Evil Geniuses versus Sentinels. I think Sentinels are going to win that one. Well, I think G2 is going to win versus Furia. And I'll do the upper finals as well real quick. I think G2 are just about going to be the best team in kickoffs at the moment. And then I think Sentinels is probably going to be the runner-up. So, bit of a spoiler there, but there you go. I think NRG are going to beat Leviathan. I think 100 Thieves are going to beat Crew. EG versus NRG. I think NRG are just about going to win that one. And I think Furia versus 100 Thieves. I think Furia might actually win this, but I could see this going either way. I think it's quite a 50-50. Just like, I'm pretty sure the teams on paper are pretty close. Okay, so I just had to think, and I think that 100 Thieves are probably going to win. Yeah, I mean, I'm just pretty sure 100 Thieves are going to win this game. I'm not exactly sure, 100%, because, like I said, right, I'm only looking at, like, the face value of these teams. There's not really too much to go off before. I do have more on Furia, though, in recent times, so maybe it would actually make more sense for me to put Furia here, because I do think that they are a pretty good team from what I saw in December. So, yeah, I'll go with Furia here. I'm going to go for the NRG here, though, I think, and then I'm going to go Sentinels over finals into G2 Esports winning the grand final, because I do think that these two teams are going to be the top two teams. I would like to know your thoughts on the Americas teams, but we're going to move on to EMEA. I think EMEA might actually be the most fun region to watch this year, because I think the storylines for a lot of the roster moves and that kind of stuff are going to be really good to watch. Things like the Americas imports, like Sadhack, like Fluorescent, like Crashes, they're all going to be fun to watch and see how they work out. I think the Na'Vi core splitting up slightly with Angela and Shao still being on Na'Vi. And then we've got, I think, Sugetsu's on Carmine core, and I think we have Zipan on Gentlemates. So we've got, like, the Na'Vi core is not together anymore, which is crazy because they've always been together. So it's going to be insane to watch, really. And then we've also got a couple super teams floating around, right? Like Fnatic, in my opinion, and Team Vitality, which I think is the most likely one to be a super team. So we'll start off with Team Liquid versus Koi, and I think Team Liquid are going to win this one. I think they're on the higher end of the middle, while I think Koi is maybe towards the bottom or maybe the middle. Carmine Core versus Na'Vi. I think Carmine Core might be the slightly better roster overall, but I do think that they're going to be. I think they're going to take some time to be better than other teams. So I will predict Na'Vi to win this one, because I think they may have a bit more to go off right at the start. But I think Carmine Core will, by the time the first Masters rolls around, I think Carmine Core, or maybe the second Masters rolls around, or maybe even Champs, I think Carmine Core will be ready as time goes on. Right? I don't quite know when they'll be ready, but they'll be ready when time goes on. At some point, they will make international play, I think, Carmine Core. We'll just have to see. BBL versus Giant X. I think that BBL is going to be towards the bottom of the standings, and I think Giant X are also going to be there, but I think that they're going to be a bit more towards the middle, so I'm going to go with Giant X. Apex versus Gentlemates. I think that Apex is going to be a pretty good contender for the middle to top of the region. But I'm not sure if they're going to be they're not going to be like right at the top, but they're going to be towards like the middle. I think they are pretty good overall. Definitely have some good individual players on there. Don't quite know how it's going to all work out, but I think that they're going to be a pretty good team at the start. Definitely more so than Gentlemates, who I think is going to... They're way more of an unknown quantity to me, so I could be completely wrong on Gentlemates, but I don't know if they're going to be better than Apex. Foot, I think, is going to be one of the better teams in the region, as they always are. They haven't really changed much, and I think that they're just going to continue to be top 3, top 4. Team Vitality versus Na'Vi. I think Team Vitality are the super team of the region, but I do think they might take some time to be good. But I'm more confident in them being good right at the start than than so many other teams in this region. Fnatic versus Giant X. I think Fnatic's going to be really good out the gate. Team Heretics versus Apex. I think Team Heretics are probably the best team in the region currently. in my estimation. Obviously, that could be completely wrong. We have no actual evidence to go off. It's just on my gut feeling, looking at the rosters at face value. So for Foot versus Team Vitality, we're doing right now, which is, I think it's going to be hard, but I think Foot might end up just about winning this for now. And then later on in the year, Team Vitality will start picking it up, and that'll be really insane. I think Team Heretics will win versus Fnatic here, and then we'll find Team Heretics in the grand finals versus like after beating Foot. So then we go into lower round, which is Apex versus Koi. I think Apex is going to win that one. I think they're going to be middle to top. Maybe like, yeah, they're going to be like 4th, 5th is what I would guess. Giant-X and Carmine Core. I think Carmine Core are going to be slightly better than Giant-X. I think they're going to be also within like the 4th to 6th sort of region. Probably not 4th, probably 5th to 7th sort of region. Na'Vi, BBL, I think Na'Vi are going to be a bit like, I think they're clearly better actually than BBL on paper, but we'll just have to see if BBL are the new next insane players that I just don't know of. There might be, to be honest, there might be more well-known names than I realise, but I just haven't heard of them before. I've only heard of Yampi, I think, in Tier 1. I haven't really seen the other players. Team Liquid versus Gentlemates. I think Gentlemates is going to be, with BBL, I think they're going to be like 8th, 9th, 10th, maybe with Koi or Giant-X. They're going to be like 8th, 9th, 10th. I think Giant-X might be a bit better than that. But yeah, I think Gentlemates is not going to be really contending much versus Team Liquid here, even though I think Team Liquid are going to be middle of the pack, I think, as well. So we've got Na'Vi versus Team Liquid, which is going to be a really hard one to call, I think. I don't actually know. I think I'm going to go with Team Liquid. Let me quickly look at the rosters, just 1 second. Yeah, I think we'll go with Team Liquid. Because, actually no, I'm going Na'Vi. I think I've got a bit more faith in like the Angel Show core. And then they've also got Hero, who's proved himself on Fnatic. They've got Quanoob, who is a really good player. I don't know much about Ruxic, but I do think that Nats, Kaiko, Camo, Kamik, and Patitek, they're all good players as well. They've also, some of them, I think Kamik has proved himself on Fnatic. Patitek's proved himself on Team Heretics. I think both teams are good. Actually, I've changed my mind to Team Liquid. This is like such a 50-50. Like, this could go anyway, so I'm just going to go with Team Liquid. But I think Team Liquid. It could probably just change on the day, honestly, for me. Fnatic, I think, is past Team Liquid there. Apex, Carmine Core. I don't actually quite know. I think Carmine Core probably end up... It's difficult, I think. I think Carmine Core might end up winning that. I think they have slightly better individual players overall. But we'll have to see. I think that Carmine Core just about win this one. I think Team Vitality will win this one. Well, I think it's debatable which one wins it, like who wins out to Fnatic, Team Vitality. But I'm going to go with Fnatic. And I'm going to go with Foot going back up to the lower finals. And Team Heretics winning again is what I'm going to guess here. It might be a bit unpopular, to be honest, to predict this. But that's what I think is going to happen. I think that Foot and Team Heretics have been the most consistent teams throughout the 2 years, right? From 2024 to 2025 in that transition. I think Foot and Team Heretics are the most consistent looking rosters. For me, considering their performance last year. That's not usually how it pans out, though. We're probably going to see Team Vitality, because if they've reached their highs, they're going to probably be the best team in the region, right? So we'll just see what happens. So I hope you enjoyed. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on both EMEA and the Americas, and especially if you think I've got stuff wrong, I want to know why I'm wrong. So that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next one.